Today we're checking out the highly requested JBL Tour Pro 3. I'll be scoring and ranking them against 38 earbuds in 10 categories. And I will be comparing them to the Tour Pro 2 that I have tested, I just never added it to my ranking. Now the Tour Pro 3 retail for $299 US, $399 Australian, but usually go on sale a lot cheaper. So let's get into it. Category 1 is comfort. I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 an 8.5 out of 10. So it's your usual stem style fit. It's slightly larger than the Tour Pro 2, but it's still a very comfortable earbud. It's a light feel in the ear, minimal suction. You get 5 sizes of silicone ear tips from extra small to extra large. And you also get 1 pair of memory foam ear tips, which are very similar in size to the large size, which actually just works perfectly for my ears. But since it is memory foam, you can squeeze a tip before putting it in your ear and it will expand in your ear canal. And for memory foam, it's really comfortable. It kind of feels like a hybrid silicone and foam, so it's still quite soft and reforms its shape a lot faster than regular memory foam. And using the foam ear tips, in my experience, it massively improved the noise cancelling strength. Just be sure to change the setting in the app. And that'll change the EQ to make sure that the earbuds sound the same, whether you're using silicone ear tips or the foam ear tips. But overall, these are by far the most comfortable foam ear tips that I've ever tried. Now, category 2 is the security of the fit. And I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 an 8.5. The bud's staying perfectly fine for me, whether I'm weight training or running. I just had to readjust the earbuds here and there throughout my workouts. And when running, there's a minimal amount of body-borne noise from the impact you make on the ground and your own heavy breathing. And stem style earbuds usually work a bit better when running. If you are running with the transparency mode on, the microphones do pick up wind moderately, I'd say. It's definitely to the point of not being like too distracting. And if you like using your earbuds when training, you have an IP55 dust and water resistant rating. So fine for any sweaty workout, use in the rain, and if you're on a dusty work site, the earbuds will be better protected from dust. All right, category 3 is case and battery life. Again, I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 an 8.5. So you're getting advertised 11 hours and 44 hours in total with noise cancelling off, 8 hours and 32 hours with noise cancelling on. So up there with the best. Chuck the buds in the case for 10 minutes, you're gonna get 3 hours of playback on the earbuds, and you can charge your case wirelessly. The case is on the thicker side. I mean, it does have a screen on it, so kind of fair. But here it is compared to the Tour Pro 2, so a bit thinner overall. And here it is compared to the thinnest case on my ranking, the AirPods Pro 2. Now, a big standout is of course the screen. It's a bit larger now compared to the Tour Pro 2, and you get the same features here. So basics from track control and volume to Bluetooth pairing, connection options. You can choose what tabs you want to use so you're not swiping all day like I am here. The touchscreen is still not that responsive. Sometimes I go for a swipe and it won't respond, but look, it works well enough for a screen on a case. I found myself personally never using it. I mean, the benefit here is that you're able to customize the earbuds without ever downloading the app. If you don't want to download the app for whatever reason, at least you can do some stuff in the case. All right, now category 4 is controls. And I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 a 7 out of 10. They're just a little bit outdated for what you're getting nowadays. So you get solid touch controls with a single, double, triple tap and long hold. If you want to add in volume control though, you need to sacrifice your playback or ambient sound control. You're not going to be able to control everything. You can control volume on the case, but look, doing it on the earbuds is just so much easier. You are able to mute your microphone using the touch controls when you're on a phone call though. And the wearing detection works very well here to automatically pause and play your music. And if you have noise cancelling on and take one earbud out, the earbud that's still in your ear, noise cancelling will turn off so you don't have noise cancelling on in one ear. And if you don't like wearing detection, you can toggle this on or off in the app. All right, category 5 is connectivity. And I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 a 9 out of 10. As you get Bluetooth 5.3, SBC, AAC, LDAC high-res, and LE audio. You are able to use multi-point connection whilst you have LDAC activated, although you're not able to use some small extra features like spatial audio and some sound customization. You also get Google Fast Pair and Microsoft Swift Pair. You can use one earbud while leaving the other in the case, and it will work in mono mode, so you hear the left and right audio channel out of that one earbud. Multi-point connection works with 2 devices at the same time. You just need to pause playback on one device before playing it on your other device for that audio to kick in. Now, video latency is completely fine. Gaming latency is not great. Even turning on the video mode in the app, I noticed this didn't improve the latency at all. It's still fine for casual games, but you can now transmit audio through the case to any device via USB-C to USB-C or USB-C to auxiliary with the included cables. And this gives you incredibly low latency. I think it's using LE audio, which makes sense. Also notice slightly better sound quality, similar to what you would get with LDAC or any high-res codec. And when using them wired, you can still use noise cancelling and transparency. And if you haven't connected via USB-C to USB-C, you're still gonna be able to use the controls like playback and pause on the earbuds. All right, now category 6 is call quality, and I run through 3 tests here: a quiet room, simulation crowd noise, and a simulation windy city with construction noise. A small thing I don't like here is that you're not able to switch between noise cancelling or transparency when you're on a phone call. So whatever setting you had on before answering the phone is gonna get locked to the earbuds. Unless you turn on voice aware in the app, this will work by turning the transparency mode on automatically every time you answer a call. You can also balance the volume of the person that you're speaking to if it's too loud or quiet. You can also customize their voice as well as your own voice. There's also a private call mode, which allows you to use one earbud quite close to your mouth if you want to speak very quietly into that one earbud for like a private conversation or something like that. Now here's all my scoring with all the earbuds I've tested. Tour Pro 3 getting a 7.5 out of 10. Overall, it's pretty decent. The Windy City test, they do struggle quite a bit. I actually think the Tour Pro 2 is better in the Windy City test. But here are some samples comparing those two buds and one of the highest ranked Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro. All right, here's the call quality of the JBL Tour Pro 2 in a quiet room. All right, here's the call quality of the JBL Tour Pro 3 in a quiet room. All right, here's the call quality of the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro in a quiet room. All right, now we're going to see how the microphones block out some simulation crowd noise. All right, here's the call quality of the JBL Tour Pro 2 with some simulation crowd noise. All right, here's the call quality of the JBL Tour Pro 3 with some simulation crowd noise. All right, here's the call quality of the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro with some simulation crowd noise. All right, now I have some city noise, some construction noise, and some simulation wind. All right, here's the call quality of the JBL Tour Pro 2 with some city noise, construction noise, and simulation wind. All right, here is the call quality of the JBL Tour Pro 3 with some city noise, construction noise, simulation wind. All right, here's the call quality of the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro with some city noise, construction noise, and simulation wind. All right, category 7 is app customization and extra features. And I'm scoring them an 8.5 out of 10, as the app customization is solid, and I'm adding in the case screen as kind of the extra feature. So from the top, you have your ear tip sound setting when you switch to those foam ear tips. You have noise cancelling and transparency controls with strength adjustment as well. Next is your smart case settings that I ran through before. You have an ear tip fit test. Smart Talk will automatically lower your music and turn on your transparency mode as soon as you start speaking to someone. I would prefer if your music paused so you don't miss anything with whatever you're listening to. Next is personal sound amplification, which basically lets you kind of boost the transparency mode slightly. I think this is great if you have some hearing loss. Next is your audio and video mode, although I think just leaving the audio mode on works the best. Smart automation is your wearing detection toggle. You can turn off the voice prompt as well as change the language. And Silent Now allows you to use noise cancelling without having the earbuds connected to your device, and you can set a timer for the earbuds to wake you up and then reconnect to your device. A bit random, but people seem to like this feature, so there you go. Next, we have the audio tab. You get tons of EQ presets in there, and one of the best EQs, you can set as many bands as you can fit in there and really tailor the buds to your sound preference. Now, Adaptive EQ has a low volume EQ in there, which will boost bass and treble at lower volumes since naturally we hear less. Now, I find this works quite well, although I found it still changes the sound even at like 50% volume and 70% volume. I personally would only turn that on if I'm listening at lower volumes. Leakage compensation will change the sound quality based on how the earbuds fit you. Next, you get spatial audio with head tracking that works pretty well. Personify is a hearing test that will measure your left and right ear individually. Works pretty well, and it's great if you have hearing loss. I'll cover all these sound settings in detail a bit later. Next, you have left and right audio balance. The max volume limiter will limit your maximum decibels to 85. You have the core settings I ran through before, and the other tab has your relaxing sounds. You can just set some soundscapes to the earbuds. It has Find My Earbuds that will emit a beep from the earbuds if you misplace them, and some auto power off and standby options. So tons of customization in there. The only thing really missing is decent control customization. I'm sure JBL will do it eventually. I've been asking for 3 years, but I'm gonna keep asking. Do it. All right, now category 8 is noise cancelling, and how I test my noise cancelling. I chuck on my soundbar nice and loud and play simulation plane noise and crowd noise, so I get low, middle, high, consistent and inconsistent sounds. And I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 a 9.5 out of 10. Keep in mind, this is using the foam ear tips. They might not fit you well because they are slightly larger, but look, they're included. That's normally what I do. I score and rank all these earbuds with whatever ear tips the brand includes in the box. Overall, the noise cancelling is great when it comes to the plane noise test, low frequencies, middle frequencies like voices, and high frequencies like weights clanging around in a gym, like wind in the distance and stuff like that. It's very solid stuff. Keep in mind, with the silicone ear tips, I'd actually bring it down to like an 8.5 in terms of noise cancelling strength, maybe about a 9. Now, when it comes to EQ shift, so this is your sound quality changing between noise cancelling, transparency, and noise cancelling off. Noise cancelling to transparency, there's barely any shift, which is what I like to see. With noise cancelling off, I noticed about a 10% bass reduction, which is noticeable, but you kind of expect the most shift when you go from noise cancelling on to noise cancelling off. Now, there is no automatic wind reduction, and the microphones pick up a moderate amount of wind noise, but again, it's not going to be too distracting. And also keep in mind, you can't use noise cancelling when using one earbud with the other in the case. Even if you go into the app, you can't set it to noise cancelling. You can only use transparency or noise cancelling off. Now, category 9 is the transparency mode, and I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 a 9 out of 10. The clarity is great, it's a very natural sounding transparency mode, and there's a minimal amount of occlusion, so when you speak yourself, your own voice sounds quite clear with a very minimal blocked ear effect. My only complaint with it is that there's a moderate amount of white noise hiss. So if you're in a quieter environment, you probably notice it. But if you're in just like a regular environment with noise around you, you're not going to notice much. That's why I have the AirPods Pro 2 ranked a 10 out of 10. You get the best clarity and they have barely any white noise hiss. Don't know how Apple do it. Now you can reduce the white noise hiss by bringing the strength down in the app, but then you are going to lose your overall clarity. And when using the talk through mode, that's going to focus a bit more on voices, which makes sense because you're probably going to want to quickly talk to someone. All right, now onto the final round, sound quality. Starting with my max volume test, the Tour Pro 3 got 113 decibels. So I mean, on the lower side, but these still go incredibly loud. You're getting more than enough volume. Now onto the sound quality itself, I'm scoring the Tour Pro 3 a 9 out of 10. Even the stock EQ sounds great. I found the bass to be slightly on the boomy side, so this is my go-to EQ with a slight bass reduction as well as a mid and treble boost. I also played around with the adaptive EQ, which for me boosts the mids and the upper mids quite a bit. So I had to kind of counteract that with the EQ, so this is what I did there. And this improved the overall instrument separation, but I found mid-range and vocals to sound a little bit unnatural. So I prefer turning that off and using my other EQ. Now the Personify hearing test is going to work great if you have hearing loss. For me, I noticed it created like a slight reverb effect, so I prefer just turning that off. But now onto the actual sound quality, keeping in mind my slight EQ adjustment. So the bass here is awesome. You get some nice deep sub bass. It's going to rumble with electronic music and heavy bass lines, but it still has some nice punch to it. Overall, it's very well balanced. The mids here are excellent, so vocals are clear and natural. Upper mids are not left behind as well, so instrumentation like percussion, keys, and distorted guitars stand out really well. The treble is also nice and detailed. It's rich, but you get a smooth upper treble response, so you get some nice sparkle still without any sibilance. And with that, you also get a pretty open soundstage. Overall, it's just a rich, well-balanced tuning, JBL's best sound I've heard. It's actually quite similar to the Tour Pro 2, but I just found the overall detail and instrument separation slightly better on the Pro 3. And like I said, the stock tuning is great and you just get tons of customization to really tailor the sound to what you like. The spatial audio is also pretty decent. You also get some head tracking in there. I did find the game mode worked the best when listening to music. I'm still not a big spatial audio lover, so I'll never use this. I think this will work better if you're watching movies. So now compared to the Technics AZ80 and AZ100, the Tour Pro 3 do get pretty close in terms of overall sound. The Technics bars just have a slightly more open soundstage with better instrument separation. And the Bowers & Wilkins PI8, again, just on a slightly different level in terms of musicality. They're still my number one earbud for sound. But compared to my buds that I have rated 9, honestly, the Tour Pro 3 has a slight edge compared to them all. They're just not quite on the level of Technics. They're more like a 9.25, I guess, for sound quality. So either way, you're getting some great sound, some of the best at this price. They're gonna work with any kind of music you throw at them. Especially my go-to genre, which is obviously metal, if you follow my channel. So double kicks, distorted guitars, give you that nice live heavy sound, and they're just very well separated. But that wraps up all 10 categories. And if you want to customize the scoring, check out my free spreadsheet link below. You can compare all the earbuds easily, personalize the scoring, and that's going to give you a new custom ranking for all the earbuds. But now the final scores are in, and the Tour Pro 3 finished in 3rd place with 84.5 out of 100. So you can tell they're a seriously good all-rounder. The only downside is the limited controls and average call quality in windy conditions. If those aren't an issue for you, these are one of the best sounding earbuds you can get at this price with incredibly strong noise cancelling, solid transparency mode, and a comfortable fit. Those are the main things I look for with an earbud, and I'm sure a lot of other people do as well. If you are looking to save some money, I think the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 or Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro are solid options, but I think the Tour Pro 3 gives you better sound. And I guess the case screen is cool as well. Either way, they're definitely worth the money. But for more on JBL, check out my video right here. Thanks a lot for tuning in, stay picky, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.